Good evening, and it's great to have you with us here at a Tuesday night, and we will get to that tornado emergency, the watches and warnings tonight. At least 6 confirmed tornadoes already, then the system heading to D.C., Philadelphia, and New York. But we are going to begin tonight with the new images out of Ukraine. Tonight, the new discoveries outside Kyiv after the Russian forces withdrew. Bodies found in homes and in yards, and tonight our team interviewing those who survived this. The Ukrainians who lived in that town describing hiding in basements with Russian soldiers above them. Tonight, U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken saying what we have seen in Bucha is not the random act of a rogue unit, but a deliberate campaign to kill, to torture, to rape, to commit atrocities. Outside the capital of Kyiv in Bucha today, field engineers conducting mine clearance among the destroyed vehicles that now litter the streets. City workers there carrying away the bodies of some of the dead. Ukrainian officials now say more than 400 civilian bodies have now been recovered already, men, women, and children. Many of them buried in mass graves. Our James Longman visiting a church and the trench dug nearby, more bodies found inside. And the residents and their harrowing stories of survival tonight. This man telling our team the Russians killed all of the men under 50. He says he survived because he is 53, left behind to now bury his friends. Tonight, Russia claims the carnage was staged by the Ukrainians, but tonight the satellite images from well before the Russians left, and the Ukrainian military just releasing drone video from March 3rd, a month ago, of a person on a bicycle, a Russian tank opening fire. That body still there, and images released just days ago. Just one image of the horror, while the Russians were obviously still there. Ukrainian President Zelensky speaking to the UN Security Council, warning the world will see more images just like the ones out of Bucha. He says wherever the Russian troops move out next. ABC's James Longman leading us off again tonight from inside Ukraine, and we warn you, the images are disturbing.
As Russian forces move away from Bucha, residents are slowly emerging from their hiding places with stories of terror and suffering. Mykola was forced to live in the basement of his apartment building as Russian soldiers moved in. And when they arrived, the horror began. They made all the men go outside and check their papers, he tells me. And if they found anything they didn't like, they would shoot them immediately and not ask any questions. He says the Russians shot everyone under the age of 50.
You're 53, so you made it by 3 years.
Mykola is desperate to share his story.
You've told me what's happened. I'd like to know what you feel.
But the mental toll this has taken is clear.
You're shaking.
His friends were murdered in front of him, one with a grenade. He had to collect his body parts.
They've been buried just in the gardens alongside this car. Behind the car here, you can see another grave. And this is a story that's replicated again and again and again here.
And this is what Russian soldiers did to these homes.
I don't think there's any better way of showing you just how much civilians have been on the front line of this war. Someone's living room, now a war zone. Russians were squatting here, were living here. They occupied this place, and now it's destroyed.
And at the church nearby, graphic images of what appears to be yet another mass grave.
You can see maybe 6 or 7 bodies in black bags. There may well be more beneath the earth. And I can see the bodies of people who've just been thrown in as they are, hands and legs poking out of the soil. This town is now one big crime scene.
A crime scene which now needs investigating. We met a team from Human Rights Watch gathering evidence of war crimes.
What we've heard from residents, what we've been documenting, is really horrific, including reports that Russian forces have pulled people out of their homes, briefly interrogated them, and then executed them.
Ukrainian President Zelensky was visibly shaken when he visited Bucha yesterday. Today, he bitterly condemned Russian brutality in his first address to the United Nations Security Council.
They killed entire families, adults and children, and they tried to burn the bodies. The civilians were crushed by tanks while sitting in their cars in the middle of the road, just for their pleasure. They cut off limbs, cut their throats, slashed their throats. Women were raped and killed in front of their children.
Zelensky said the United Nations should be, quote, simply closed if it doesn't act to punish Russia. The Kremlin claims the scenes of corpses in Bucha are staged, but the dead have been here for days, even weeks. The Ukrainian military says this video was shot in early March and shows a cyclist making their way through the streets. A Russian tank can then be seen opening fire. Images released just days ago appeared to show the dead body still lying there weeks later, next to the bicycle. City after city has been laid waste by Russian forces with no target off limits. In Mykolaiv in the south, Ukrainian officials released videos showing the moment an ambulance is hit outside a children's hospital. Hundreds of people today were racing to escape the fighting in eastern Ukraine, which is only expected to get worse. More than 11 million Ukrainians have now fled their homes since the Russians invaded. American officials today said the US and its allies would push to get Russia suspended from the United Nations Human Rights Council because of its unrestrained brutality. The US ambassador to the UN spoke of filtration camps, where she said Russian forces are separating families and reportedly making tens of thousands of Ukrainian civilians relocate to Russia.
I do not need to spell out what these so-called filtration camps are reminiscent of. It's chilling, and we cannot look away.
And tonight, a warning from the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff about the risks ahead.
The Russian invasion of Ukraine is threatening to undermine not only European peace and stability, but global peace and stability that my parents and a generation of Americans fought so hard to defend.
And James Longman joins us again tonight from the Ukrainian capital. And James, President Zelensky, we all heard today warning what the world is seeing in Bucha is likely just the beginning, saying there will be atrocities just like these revealed as Russians withdraw from more parts of Ukraine.
Well, now, David, we aren't just seeing the destruction and the dead. We are hearing from those who survived. And just about everywhere you go here, the stories are almost beyond imagination. And yes, there is a sense that the further north you go, the further in to areas where Russians stayed for longer, the worse the atrocities may